Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to talk about a crafty bus trip. Oh my gosh, who doesn't want to go on a bus trip where basically every shop that we visited was a craft store? Some were crochet related, knitting related, yarny type stores. Others were sewing shops with lots of beautiful fabrics. On the bus we have a variety of crafters. I know that quite a few of us crochet, quite a few of us knit, and quite a few of us actually sew as well. Some are just one, both, all of them. 15 people on a small minibus. I don't know, do you call them minibuses where you come from? To me, it's a bus that can seat sort of 18, 20 people, including the driver, and it's a bus, but it's mini, a minibus. And that's what we call it here in Australia. Obviously, easy terms here in Australia. We go out for morning tea and then we do a bit of shopping and then we do lunch and then sometimes we do a little bit of shopping after that. So what I wanted to do is show you what I got on my craft trip. We went to a variety of stores. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember all of them, but I know there was the sewing shop, which was everything sewing. It was a beautiful fabric shop and specialized in, so I'm not a quilter, but I'm gonna say that it's specialized in quilting fabric. And there was I don't think it was a class, I think it was just a gathering of people, so like a little quilting meetup, and they were all working on different items. That's what makes me think it wasn't a class. They were working on different items, and we got chatting to one of the ladies and she was very lovely and was sharing what she was making and what she's made, and showed some photos of things that she's made before, so that was quite nice. We also went to Spotlight, which is a big box store here in Australia. Australia? Most people say, Aussie say Australia. It's so bogan. But that's what we say here in Australia. And what was the point of saying Australia? I don't even know. Oh, big box store here in Australia, Spotlight. And we dropped in there to grab some things. And I grabbed a couple of balls of yarn in there. Some I'd never seen before. I'd seen them online, but not in real life. So I grabbed one of those. So let's get started. Let's start off with the Spotlight stuff. I think that was the first shop that we stopped at. Pretty sure that was the first stop we stopped at. And we had some morning tea. There's a little cafe just nearby. So we had some morning tea there. And I'm pretty sure I had a vanilla slice and a chai. Yeah, I think that's what I had. Pretty sure I had a vanilla slice. No, I had a cheesecake. I'm thinking it would have been one or the other. It was cheesecake and it was so delicious. So this is the first thing that I grabbed. This is a Lion brand yarn. It is a mandala ombre. It is 150 grams or 5.3 ounces, 315 meters or 344 yards. And it is 100% acrylic. Number 4 weight. Why do they make the writing so small? 4.5 millimeter crochet hook and a 5.5. Oh wait, no, a 5.5 crochet hook and a 4.5 knitting needle. That's interesting. So this is my pick. I only got one. Now, that is not me. Normally I buy things in 3s, which is going to totally go against all the things that I got. Because none of them are in 3s. Oh, that's hilarious. I don't know. I just buy things in 3s. I don't like odd numbers, so I don't even know why I do that. It's just a thing that I do. Look at those beautiful, beautiful colours. It's a little bit deeper than what's coming up on my viewfinder of my video camera. But they're super bright. Whites, pinks and oranges. I'm excited to see how this comes up. A lady that goes to my craft group, Judy, was making a blanket. This would look really good in a quarter to quarter, but it wasn't. It was a V-stitch variation. Doesn't matter what it was. It was working out really nice. And I said, what yarn is that? I have to have a look. And the colours that Judy had were blues, greens, and really my colour palette. And I ended up buying this one. Who knows? I think because I have so much blues and greens, if you kind of have a look behind me, you'll see there's lots of blues and greens. And maybe I was just trying to go, not my colour. So the next thing I got was, if you see me sweating, it is really hot in this room. It's the end of summer here. Well, actually it's autumn. and we're getting like 30, I think it's supposed to be 28 degrees today, but we're having 33s. You're going to think that's really cold, but if you're living in America and do Fahrenheit, I'm going to guess and say that's about 80 degrees. I'll put the translation somewhere here. So the next one I got was a Yarnspirations Karen Cakes. You've all seen these before. I got, this colorway, if you're wondering. What was that one? That one's called Serene, the pinky one. It's getting really blown out. I've got my windows open for good light, so I'm going to bring that in. That's called Serene. This one is called Fairy Cake. That's cute. Very cute. 200 grams, 7.1 ounces. Meterage 350 meters or 383 yards. I think, is this acrylic? 80% acrylic, 20% wool. Love it. These are my colors. This blue, this aqua here, and the blues there. That is definitely my colors. But I also I am partial to the pink. So I got this one and I got this one. So I know I've got 2 of these. I may even have 3, but I grabbed 2 more because why? Ignore that bit, delete that bit out. So I grabbed 2 of these. Like I said I get things in 3s, but for some reason I've got them in 2s this time. So I got 2 of those. I do have a plan to make something with this, and so this bus trip was, I think, 2 weeks ago now. I haven't had time to film, to tell you the truth, and been very busy. And so I've got 2 of these, and then during that 2 weeks from when we went on the bus trip till now, I actually ordered 3 more of these. I had a voucher that my dad got me for Christmas. He got me a $50 voucher to a Spotlight store, so yay, thanks Dad. Not that you're watching, but thank you anyway. So I had 2 of these, and I thought I've got a plan, but I think I'm going to need an extra one for a video tutorial. And if you bought one, you had to pay, I think it was like $12 shipping, but then if I bought 3, I didn't have to pay shipping. You know how it goes. You add more yarn so that you don't have to pay the shipping. I think it's a legit reason, because why spend the money on the shipping if you can spend it on the yarn and you kind of get an extra ball of yarn for free, because you would have been paying that for the shipping, but you can instead put it in for the yarn. So I had a $50 voucher, and I think I spent like $49 or $48.80 or something. So I've got like $1.20 or $30 left on my card, which, you know, cannot get much for that, but that's okay. But I was as close as what I could get to $50. So the next one I got is this one, and this is a Yarnspirations Red Heart yarn, and it's the Granny All-in-One Square. No colour switching, keep on stitching. And I am sure you've probably seen these in your stores if you live in America. Does Canada have this yarn? I'm pretty sure it does. Does it? I don't know. I don't live in Canada. I've never actually been there, so I could be making that up. So these are the colours that I got. Greens, blues, bright greens, aqua, and black. So this colourway, what is this one called, is Black Cyber Leaf. So it's 4-weight yarn, and it's a 5.5mm crochet hook or a 5mm knitting needle. So there you go. Because you're going to knit a granny square. I guess if you wanted to knit it, you could. So I bought this because I saw quite a few YouTubers make granny squares with this. Some were having problems, some were not having problems. So, you know, I like a little bit of a challenge. So I want to have a go at this. Personally, first thoughts, absolute nightmare, because you've got to figure out your tension. You've got to figure it all out before you get it right. That's not me. I just like to go straight in and go for it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what they recommend, which I know is not going to be right because I never use the same size crochet hook that the yarn recommends. I always go down. So this is a 5.5 recommended for this. I would always go down to a 5 because I have loose tension and I've always just got to drop down. Not that I ever do a gauge swatch for anything, but I just like how it feels if I drop down a hook size. So I've got this. So keep your eyes peeled. This will be coming out who knows when, but I will experiment with that. So that was my purchase at Spotlight. my gosh, it is so hot in this room. Maybe I'm just having a moment. So that was my purchase at Spotlight. So pop them there. Oh my gosh. Hot, hot, hot. Am I having a hot flash? I don't even know. Sometimes I feel like I am. I am pretty much old enough to start having them, so there we go. That was too much information. I didn't buy any fabric or sewing supplies because I do have fabric. I have quilting fabric. Do I quilt? No, I just like it. It's pretty, and one day, probably not, we'll find something to make with it. And so I didn't need any fabric, and I'm not in my sewing phase at the moment. Does anybody go through phases like that? You'll go through a sewing phase and you won't touch a crochet. Then you'll go through a crochet phase and you won't touch your sewing, or you'll go through a knitting phase and you won't touch crochet. Crafters, I've always said most crafters, most, not all, but most crafters do more than one craft. Just from my experience talking to people. So we also went to this beautiful yarn shop called Makery, and Makery is so our bus trip went to Canberra, the ACT, which is the Australian Capital Territory. I had to think about that. The Australian, is that it? Australian Capital Territory? Sounds right. It's got the same first letters. We'll go with that. So they've just moved shops, and I think they had been in their location that they were in when we visited for 2 weeks. So they hadn't been there very long, and the shop had all this, well, I don't know if it had all of their stock out, but it had a lot of stock out, so you could go in there and do some shopping. But it wasn't quite finished, and just, you know, those little finishing touches like mannequins with samples. So it's also a fabric shop as well. So one side of the shop is knitting and crochet, probably weaving and all that stuff, spinning and stuff. And then the other side is the fabric side. So you literally walk in the door and make a beeline for the side that you like, and it's all together. So in the previous shop, there was 2 shops next door to each other with a dividing wall. So if you went into the fabric side, you couldn't get into the yarn side, and the same if you went into the yarn shop, you couldn't get into the fabric shop. So now their shop is combined, and it's amazing. Once they get settled and get everything set up, it's going to be amazing. It's already really good. So if you're ever in Canberra, it's in Fishwick. So I grabbed some yarn in there, and I wanted to go out of my colour palette. My 100% wool yarn, I have a lot of blues, not so much greens, but like bluey greens. Again, it's my colour palette. I have so much. So I wanted to get something that I wouldn't normally get. It's alright, the blinds are moving and the window's not open. It's all weird. Hi, Mum. Okay, so I grabbed 4 of these. This is Cascade Yarns Cascade 220. Beautiful colour. That's pretty much the colour that it is. It's ever so slightly darker because the light is blowing it out. That colour over here is more like it rather than the colour up here because that's quite blown out. What happens when you film? You have all your lighting set up and you look amazing. And then when you bring things on screen, the light makes everything brighter, of course, because it's a light. Makes everything brighter. So when you're showing yarn, it really blows it out. Like if I put it there, my light is over here. If I put it here, it's probably a different colour, slightly different colour. And then when you move it back, it should get darker because you're away from the light. Joys of filming. But anyway, got 4 of these. This is enough for myself to make a jumper. And let's give you some details on this in case you don't know. What does that say? It says distributed by Estelle in Canada. It is a medium 4-weight yarn. So if you're in Australia or England, that is around about an Aran weight in England. And it is a 10 ply here in Australia. It's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. 100 grams. Which is 3.5 ounces, 220 yards or 200 meters. Recommends a size 7 to 8. Hang on, that might be knitting needles. It doesn't tell you. It just says US 7 to 8, 4.5 to 5 millimeter. And then, okay, down the bottom it says H to a J, which is a 5 to 6 millimeter. Oh, I didn't check the color lots. 695, 695. I know I didn't do it when I bought it. I just went, oh, that's pretty, and I'll have it. Yes, they're all the same color lot. Thank goodness. So that will be a jumper for me. Might use another color when I use it, who knows. So that was our craft trip. We had lots and lots of fun. For lunch, where did we go for lunch? It's 2 weeks ago. I don't remember 2 weeks ago. Literally don't remember. If I remember. God, my brain. Oh, of course. For lunch, we went to the cafe that was about 2 or 3 shops up in the same little complex. And it was, I'm pretty sure it's called Theo's Cafe. Theo's something. It was a Greek family and the food was delicious. It was sort of like a takeaway, so like kind of like fish and chips and hamburgers, and then you could sit down and eat the meal if you wanted. So I had a calamari burger, calamari rings burger. It had lettuce, mayonnaise. It could have had a slice of cheese. I can't quite remember now. Might have had a slice of cheese and calamari rings. Oh my goodness. It was so good. I like calamari rings and I like all the ingredients in there. And when I saw it on the board, I thought, I've never had a calamari ring burger. I've had calamari and chips and calamari and salad, like just on a plate, but never in a burger bun. And so I just had to try it, and it was so good that I had to go and tell the guy, first time ever trying one, and the combination was perfect. It was just so, so yum. Is there a combination of things that's the first time I've ever seen a calamari burger. Is that a thing? Is this anywhere else, or is this just at Theo's place? I actually used to go to a takeaway where I used to live, and his name was Theo, also Greek, and they didn't have it on their menu, but you could get a scallop burger. So a scallop in Australia is a potato scallop, and it's a slice of potato about, yay round, about yay thick, and then they batter it and deep fry it. Amazing. Do you get potato scallops where you live? Do you call them potato scallops? They're so good. So I used to order a scallop burger, and it was 2 scallops, barbecue sauce, cheese on a bun. Delicious. When I moved down here, there was a takeaway. It's closed down now, unfortunately. I think they retired. I went in there and I said, "Do you make scallop burgers?" And she looked at me like I had 3 heads, and she went, "No." I said, "May I order one if I tell you what's on it?" And she's like, "Yeah, of course." So I told her what was on it, and she went, "That sounds delicious." I said, "Well, you have to try it." So whenever I went in there, which wasn't very often, because it's in the next town from us, and that's 25 minutes away, the next town from where, like, in the car for me, and we live in the countryside. And every time I went in there, I'd walk in, and she's like, "You're the scallop burger girl." And I'm like, "Sure am, could I get one, please?" So let me know of some weird food that you think Australia might not have. That's not weird food, but I don't know if that's a thing anywhere else. Thank you so much for joining me here on this video today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Until next time, happy crochet. Bye.